Hello everyone, in this session we will talk about GRC approach to cybersecurity. Now you must be thinking, what is this GRC approach? So GRC is an acronym for governance, risk management and compliance. Now why cybersecurity governance? Why are we talking about cybersecurity governance? Well, we live in an interconnected world and there is a constant security threats also, not to an individual but to an organization also, and looking at the national level when we talk about at the macro level part, so it is a threat to a nation also. There's another reason why we're talking about governance is because there are a lot of evolving threats which is coming into the picture, and business continue to evolve to stay ahead. Governing these threats to our organization is very critical, and therefore today we will discuss about how we are going to mitigate those risks, what is this compliance, and how we are going to manage risk. So let us take and understand what is this GRC first, and then slowly we will discuss the each component. Now governance, risk management and compliance, what are they aiming? They're aiming to assure that an organization reliably achieve its objective, address uncertainty and acts with integrity. Governance, risk and compliance refers to a strategy for managing an organization, overall governance, enterprise risk management and compliance with regulation. Now think of GRC as an structured approach to aligning IT with organizational objective, with effectively managing risk and meeting compliance requirements. Well, it is well said, a well-planned GRC strategy comes with lots of benefits. Now, what are those benefits? It is something like you can improve decision making, you have more optimal IT investment, you can eliminate a lot of silos and reduce fragmentation amongst the departments and the division. These are the few benefits. Even the benefits are more than this, but when we're talking about in general, so these are the major benefits to any organization. Now cybersecurity is one of the main domain of GRC, and when we talk about the CISOs, that is the Chief Information Security Officers, are often the champions of GRC implementation across the world. In the IT environment, GRC has three components. Now the three components is the three words in GRC, that is governance, risk and compliance. Now let us understand what is this governance is. Now governance is something like ensuring that organizational activities, how you're going to ensure the organizational activities like managing IT operation, which are aligned in a way that supports your organizational goals. So how you're going to align the IT operation with your organizational goals. Now talking about the risk, making sure that any risk, the risk can be an opportunity also, be associated with your organizational activities. The risk is actually, we identify the risk based on the activities. So you have to identify those activities and address in a way that support the organizational goal. So in the context of IT, this means having a comprehensive IT risk management process that rolls into an organization's enterprise risk management function. Now coming to the compliance, now making sure that organizational activities are operated in a way that meets the, here we're talking about the laws and regulation. So the focus here is to meet that laws and regulation impacting those systems. So again, I can say in context of IT, this means making sure that IT systems and the data content in those systems are used and secured properly. Now meeting compliance involves IT control as well as auditing those controls. Now audit is very important here to ensure they are working as intent. Organization also use controls to manage identified risk. So you can use this audit and control to manage all your identified risk also. Now generally I say I use the 5 knowns factor of your cybersecurity, which are the foundation of any data governance framework, because it really helps people to understand why data governance is important and how it's going to help them. When I talk about all those 5 knowns data governance framework, I'll be starting with the value. Now, do you know the value of your data? Do you know the value of your data? And second, I say the access. Do you know who has access your data? Do you have any idea related to who has access your data? And the third known factor is the location. Do you know where your data is? Any idea where your data is? That is the location part. And the security. Do you know who is protecting your data? Again, a question mark. Who is protecting my data? And do you know, how well your data is protected? That is protection. So there is a demarcation when I said security. Do you know how is your data is protected? So who is who is protecting your data? And when I'm saying protection, do you know how well your data is protected? So these are the 5 known factors, and therefore we're talking about the data governance. Now cybersecurity is something like a sports team. And why I'm saying that is a sports team, because that team collaboration is required here when we're talking about the cybersecurity strategy. So it is more like a collaboration between the team members. Now who all are the team members, right? Definitely when we talk about safety, the safety of my data. Now what is data? Data is basically the information. So ultimately I'm talking about the safety of my information. So for the first team member is the data and information governance. Second comes your itself cybersecurity, and third risk management, IT operation, and the organizational units. So we have different members, and their collaborative efforts are very much required when we're talking about the safety of the cyber safety. There's no way any single group can manage the security, especially with this emerging threat landscape. But the fundamental of data governance are an essential starting point for the collaboration. Now we also have to take care of those, when we're talking about the governance, what are the important points which one should need to take care of? That is the policy, standard, procedure and guidelines for the data governance. Second comes your governance group to coordinate the activities. The next is your data classification, then the data handling guidelines, then the system classification, and ultimately it is an information security management system. So when I'm talking about the fundamental of data governance as an essential, so what are the things I need to take care for that collaborative effort? So talking about the policies, coordinated activities, whether it is a system or the data classification, some handling guidelines, and overall information security management system. So that's all about this session. Thank you so much.